Now listen. You may have heard these words before, but I'll teach you what they really mean. Go beyond! Plus! Ultra!
Hey, what's up everyone? Plus Ultra James here, coming at you with another video from the Shattered Glass universe of Go Beyond Comics. So my friends, today we are covering the final issue of Transformers Shattered Glass. This series so far has been really good, and this final issue is so damn good. You guys won't believe the ending. So if you haven't watched any of my videos before on this series, links are in the description box down below, or you'll see a link pop up right here. Now with all of that out of the way, let's get into this final issue. So it opens with narration from Jetfire, where we learn his reasoning for joining the Autobots was because they were the side that represented strength and order. That he thought he was protecting himself. He thought that he was getting away from his past, but his past still haunted him. All because Starscream wouldn't kill him. The reason why he never joined the Decepticons, we learn here, is that they never been strong enough to hold power. That they only brought chaos to Cybertron. That all of the warlords have been able to crush their rebellions. If they were meant to rule, they would have won instead of dying. He's believed this for megacycles, but yet as Goldbug is about to kill Starscream, he wonders why does he find himself protecting Starscream after all this time. Jetfire does his best here to talk down Goldbug, but Goldbug has just gotten to the point where everything Jetfire is saying to him is just seen as an excuse. Goldbug releases Starscream from his shackles and kicks him. Then he orders Jetfire to stop stalling and do his job. As this is happening, Jetfire remembers his last conversation with Starscream before the war that we witnessed back in issue 3. In his narration during the flashback, he says that all he wanted to be was a scientist, but that dream is long gone. To the Autobots, he is an informer, to Starscream a traitor, and now that Goldbug holds power, he demands him to be an executioner. Starscream, weakened, says to Jetfire to tell Goldbug the truth, that his real reason for joining the Autobots was always because he cared about him, that he wanted to protect him from their war. Goldbug kicks Starscream again, telling him to shut up, that he isn't leaving alive, that either Jetfire will kill him or he'll kill Jetfire and him. All of a sudden, an explosion rocks the entire facility. Starscream realizes that Megatron is attacking the city. He says to Goldbug that he seems stressed, that Megatron has him panicked. We then see Megatron with an army of Decepticons at his side. Out of nowhere, Jetfire strikes Goldbug right in the face with his huge fist. Through his narration, we learn Jetfire did this not because Goldbug was threatening his life or Starscream's, not because Megatron is attacking the city, but because Starscream's words were able to shake Goldbug's control, able to have power over him. He'd forgotten that Starscream's words were always able to shake him. As he's helping Starscream to his feet, he feels like everything is making sense again, that the hole that was in him has been filled for the first time in megacycles. After many cycles and war, these two great friends finally come together again. However, fate has other plans. Starscream is blasted from behind by Goldbug. With a burning hole in his back, Starscream says to Jetfire that Goldbug missed his spark. Goldbug says good, and then freaking plunges his hand through Starscream's chest, gripping his spark. Like, what the hell? Starscream's scream is so loud it echoes across the battlefield. Goldbug then rips the spark out. Jetfire, in shock that his friend is dead, says in his narration that he was too weak to stop Goldbug, that he wants to hunt him down, but he's too slow, too weak to even catch Starscream's empty shell. All of his memories with Starscream begin to flood his mind. He remembers the dream Starscream told him he envisioned for them and for Cybertron. He realizes he was the one who betrayed that dream, that Starscream, even in his last moments, forgave him. All that he asked in return was for him to believe in that dream. Again and again, Starscream gave him a chance to believe, live, and fight for that dream, but Jetfire was always too scared, too weak to take his hand until it was too late. Goldbug tells Jetfire that he told him Starscream was never walking out of this room alive. As Goldbug walks away, a squad of armed Autobots enters the room. Jetfire then goes into a berserk state, lunges at one of the Autobots here, rips his arms off, and pushes him into another bot. As he goes into battle with the remaining bots here, Jetfire says to himself in his narration that the Autobots promised order, but even when they were in charge, they couldn't keep the Decepticons under control. That if they were half the bots that they claim to be, Goldbug wouldn't have become a petty tyrant. He ripped Starscream's spark out because he's fighting a losing war. A war that Jetfire says isn't his fault. It's Goldbug's, Prime's, Prowl's, and Megatron's fault. The bots in this war fight for their causes, whether it be for power or freedom. Jetfire has had enough of them and their causes. He'd rather have Starscream's voice. Soundwave and a team of Decepticons blast their way into the building. They find Jetfire holding Starscream's body. Jetfire then blasts off with Starscream's body into the sky, and Megatron gives chase in his jet mode and rams into him, saying to Jetfire to take his hands off of him, that he's hurt him enough. Jetfire yells at Megatron, saying to him that he did this to Starscream, turned Starscream against him, changed him from the scholar and explorer he was into a soldier, and now he's sparkless. Megatron restrains Jetfire instead of fighting him, saying to him that this is not what Starscream would want. Jetfire really, in this moment, begins to really accept that it was him who drove Starscream away all those years ago. That Megatron and the other Decepticons took Starscream in after his betrayal. They looked after him, and when he had nowhere else to go, they were there for him. Megatron tells Jetfire that he'll erect a memorial to honor Starscream after he's taken the city, and he asks Jetfire to team up with the Decepticons, and together they can find Goldbug and retrieve Starscream's stolen spark. But Jetfire replies he'll think about it, which is surprising to me. As he's about to fly off, Jetfire has one last request from Megatron, which is to make Starscream's memorial dramatic. Later, we go to this cloaked figure opening a hidden manhole, and this cloaked figure is Goldbug's lieutenant, Slicer, who we find out is a double agent for freaking Ultra Magnus. Slicer informs Magnus that Goldbug has lost Gold City to Megatron. Magnus replies that Goldbug's fall was easily foreseen, that Gold City no longer interests the other warlords. Slicer says that Goldbug still has Starscream's spark, but he is not sure if he knows how to use it. Magnus replies he will figure it out given enough time. He goes on to tell Slicer that he wasn't the only spy in Goldbug's ranks, that word has traveled across Cybertron of Goldbug's new prize. Prowl is waiting in the wilds, ready to snatch it from him, and Prime has had plans for the key in that spark for a megacycle. For the Autobot that controls that spark controls the Titans, and the one who controls Titans controls Cybertron. Although he's lost everything, Goldbug stands before Metroplex's head as he slowly awakens. And that is the end to Transformers Shattered Glass, my fellow Beyonders. Holy hell. I told you this issue was so damn good. I can't believe Starscream died. I can't believe Ultra Magnus has been a secret player behind the scenes this entire time. That Goldbug now has the power of a Titan at his side. I hope they have plans to continue this series already, because you cannot end it with this cliffhanger. I would be so disappointed. But just because this series is ending doesn't mean there are not more Transformers videos coming at you guys. As some of you already know, I am trying to cover the entire Transformers IDW universe. I just finished with the origin of Megatron. If you guys haven't seen those videos, links are in the description box down below, or you'll see a link pop up right here. From there, I'm going on to cover Optimus Prime's origin, so be on the lookout for those videos. Other than that, if you guys enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below your thoughts on this issue and on the series as a whole, and hit that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. Other than that, have an awesome day. Peace, love, and blessings to you and your families. And remember, every day, say it with me, to go beyond plus ultra. See you later, my friends.